Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to part 2 of my Logistics Pipes Mod Spotlight. I've got a whole bunch of cool stuff to show you guys today. We've got a whole bunch of different modules that we can place in our logistics chassis pipes. Alright, so we have a bunch of logistics chassis pipes here. We can put all kinds of modules in there. I want to show you guys some of the upgraded pipes. There's an upgraded version of the pipes that I saw and showed you yesterday, plus a couple nifty tools and gadgets that I'd like to show you that kind of go along. So why don't I get started, because I have a lot to cover and I don't have a lot of time. Let's do it. So one of the items I did not show yesterday was the remote orderer. So this guy is pretty cool. You can kind of remotely order items. So we saw, if we come right over here, that we can hit our request pipe with a wrench to request items. Well, we can kind of hit any pipe with a remote orderer and do the same thing. So this guy will allow you to remotely order from kind of anywhere that you have a pipe set up in your network, and it'll deliver items automatically. Another option, if you want, is this nifty pipe right here, the remote orderer logistics pipe. Okay? All you have to do is take that, place it down somewhere, and sync it with your remote orderer by right-clicking on it. Now we've connected the remote orderer to that pipe, and this is now truly a remote ordering item. You can go ahead and right-click it and say, hey, give me, I don't know, 10 cobblestone, please, and boom, it'll spit 10 cobblestone out of that pipe remotely. Pretty neat, right? So you can remotely order things, no problem. It works pretty well. So that's what you can do with the remote orderer, and it's an awesome pipe, especially when matched up with the remote orderer logistics pipe. Now, a lot of you guys use forestry and you like playing with bees. You're like me. I love bees. They're lots of fun. And there's some awesome integration with forestry and the bee mechanics and breeding in logistics pipes here. So why don't I show you what you can do? First off, there's a nifty pipe right here called the Bee Analyzer logistics pipe. And what this does is it kind of decides, hey, I'm going to automatically route any unanalyzed bees in this network and kind of analyze them for you. So I'm going to throw some honey capsules in here, make sure we have enough honey in our analyzer. And you can see extract mode is on. You can turn that on or off if you want. Let's take a look at what this does. So let's go ahead and drop a unanalyzed bee into our system, and I'm going to do that with an obsidian pipe here just to make things nice and easy. All right, what's going to happen is it's going to automatically route, and instead of going to the default route, it's going to make its way towards the analyzer pipe. Okay, and we'll see here that the analyzer pipe dropped it right into the bee analyzer, and it's going to analyze that bee for us, and we'll see it's on extract mode on. So what should happen now is it should extract the bee out of the analyzer once it's done. So let's take a look at how that works right now. Oh, there it goes. So you can see the bee got pulled out real quick, and it should have landed way down here in our default route. So that might be one of these guys is the default route, I'm sure. There it is. Yep, forest drone. So it landed in the default route. Awesome. Now, if you wanted to, you could sort your bees a little bit more efficiently. Now, one thing I'm also going to do is make sure that I drop this analyzed bee in here. So once it's already been analyzed, you guys will see that it should make its way to the default route. It did not go to get analyzed again. But we also have this nifty bee sync logistics pipe. Let's take a look at this guy. What we can do is, let's say we didn't want the bee to go into the default route. We want it to go in this chest. Bee sync logistics pipe is coming to the rescue. We can open up the interface here, and there's lots of options we can set up. You can set up to do any bees, just drones, just princesses, just queens, only purebred bees, nocturnal, pure nocturnal, strong flyers, pure flyers, cave dwellers, like all kinds of traits that we can analyze on, right? So I'm going to just say any bees can go in here, okay? And then we can sort by the different traits. So we can say only forest bees can go in here, or any with one trait of forest. So we can be very specific. But in this case, I'm just going to go with any bees. Now if I go ahead and grab my forest drone and we drop it in here, he should make his way straight into that chest. Good job, forest drone. Nice. You can see I was testing this earlier. Now if I throw an unanalyzed forest drone in here, what should happen is he'll make his way, and instead of going into the chest, he'll go over and get analyzed first, because we have that analyzer pipe saying, hey, make sure to analyze any bees first. And once it's done analyzing, it'll make its way back over to this chest. Cool. I like it. Now the last thing to tell you about in this pipe is the group color. This is basically an AND conditional. You can say like drones and pure nocturnal bees are part of the red group, and we'll also say princesses and pure nocturnal bees will make this part of the green group. So what will happen is it'll group up these two sections. So it'll say only purebred nocturnal bees and pure nocturnal princesses can go in here. Okay, so that's what that is. It kind of uses that as like an AND conditional. Pretty cool. So awesome stuff to play with your bees. Now you guys should also note there's some upgrades available that you can get out there. For example, you've got some Mark II and Mark III versions of some of the pipes. I'm going to show you, for example, the request logistics pipe. Okay, so what we've got here is if we have this request pipe here, you see we have to right click it with the wrench. That's boring and terrible. Let's go ahead and right click it with just our hand. Ha! Mark II Logistics Request Pipe, you can request items by just right-clicking with your hand or a sword or anything you want. So feel free to request items without having to have a wrench in your inventory by going ahead and upgrading to the Logistics Request Pipe Mark II. Not bad. Does require a diamond gear, but I think it's affordable. Nice. That's a pretty cool upgrade. Now your provider pipe and your crafting pipe, this is pretty neat, right? So what we've got here is the provider pipe is basically going to provide items just like the Mark I, but it's going to do it a little bit faster. Okay, so I can go over here and say like, hey, give me 32 of these. All right, or we'll just do 30 for now. Boom. See how it sent all 30 at once? In the past, you might have noticed that it was sending them in smaller chunks. You'll also note that with the Mark II pipe, you can see some Thumbcraft aspects of the item that you've selected. Pretty cool, right? Not bad. And finally, there are upgrades to the crafting pipe. You can get Crafting Logistics Mark II and III. These guys have some pretty nice abilities to them. They have an upgrade buffer, which basically they allow you to have more items buffered inside the pipe. So if you're crafting a lot of stuff and you're kind of overflowing the system and you're waiting for some other things to get crafted, it'll kind of hold on to those items and dump them into the inventory adjacent when there's room for them. Pretty cool. Finally, here's a nifty little gadget, the Crafting Sign Creator. This is cool. Check this thing out. You can go ahead and walk up to any crafting pipe and just right click, and it'll put a sign there that shows you what item is being crafted. And you can shift right click to remove the sign. Not bad, right? And while we're on the topic, I should probably also show you the HUD. This thing's a little bit complicated to make. You do require a soldering station. Soldering stations are crafted like so, and you'll see that you have to get a couple items here to get different components to get yourself what's finally going to come together to make the logistics HUD glasses. The soldering station's used for a couple things. The HUD is gonna, when you're wearing it, show you a bunch of pop-ups with more information. You can hold shift to make it more or not transparent anymore, and you can see all kinds of cool information like what items are inside a pipe, or you can see how much energy is stored inside one of the energy units. You can also see some of the crafting results that you're going to get from different crafting pipes. Awesome, right? You can also see over here, like here's the crafting result of this, and you can see this guy's showing you the frequency of the supplier pipe. So the satellite ID is 1, you can see that right there. So the HUD glasses give you a good insight into what your system is doing and what it's got available and what it's working on. Pretty cool. So now it's time to get into the chassis pipes. These guys are pretty awesome because it allows you to have different modules hooked up to the same inventory. So let's go over here actually, because I'm going to show it to you in a completely different area. So I've got myself some chests and I'm going to start showing you how this thing works. All I'm going to do first off to get started is get myself a basic logistics pipe and probably some gold transport pipes just to connect up the power here. Good. Now we've got power to the system. So let's take a look at chassis pipes, okay? What a chassis pipe does is allows you to get a bunch of different modules. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all of them. There's a ton. Look at all these things. Tons and tons and tons and tons of modules, okay? So this is the set of modules that are available. All you have to do is open up the inventory with a wrench and place your module in there and you'll get certain options. So let's demonstrate this a little bit. What I'm going to show you first is a basic logistics pipe system where I'm going to have this set up like so. Okay, we're going to put down another thing here. One of the modules that I can show you is this guy right here called the Extractor module. And I'm going to place this in here. What this is going to do is it's going to automatically extract any items from this chest. Okay, and what I'm going to do is leave the orientation at the default, but you could specify which direction to extract items from. This adds like sneaky pipe type functionality, so you can say, hey, go ahead and pull items out the top, pull items out the bottom, but we're just going to leave it at the default for now, which is the side that it's connected to. Okay, so we can automatically pull items out. Instead of doing this right now, I'm just going to put a basic logistics pipe here. Okay, and I'm going to put a basic logistics pipe here. And we're going to tell this guy that he can have dirt. And I'll tell this guy that he's the default route. Okay? So this is basically going to automatically, we'll actually also put cobble in here as well, just to extra demonstrate this. Alright, so if I put dirt in, it should be extracted pretty quickly. And we'll put a couple pieces of cobble in as well. Oh, there goes the dirt. Awesome. So the dirt came out and got sorted appropriately. So basically what the extract pipe does, or the extract module, is it extracts items. Now it's not the fastest of things, okay? It goes pretty slow. But don't worry, we can speed it up. The extract module Mark II will just pull things out a little bit faster. So if we take a look in there, we'll see things getting pulled out that much quicker. And then finally we've got the extract module Mark III, and that is really going to pull things out much faster. Ta-da! In fact, it pulls out stacks at a time. Excellent. And you can see it all, of course, went in here. And of course, if I put another item in, it's going to get routed to the default route. But if you want to use your chassis pipes for this, you can. You can get yourself an item sync module. And what this is going to do is it's going to put items in there. Now, this is a passive form of routing. So you can see items that are requested. And I'll just put cobblestone. So the item sync module is basically like a logistics pipe in module form. And you might be saying to yourself, well, Dyer, I don't understand why I would want that. Why don't I just use a basic logistics pipe instead of a chassis and the item sync? If all you were doing was putting an item sync in here, you'd probably be correct. And I'm going to make this the default route. And we'll see here that now we've got an item sync that's accepting cobblestone. And if I put cobblestone in here, it should item sync and place it right in there. Cool. Ta-da! And any other items will, of course, get routed appropriately. Perfect. So that's the item sync module. It actually basically works just like a basic logistics pipe. So at this point, you're probably getting pretty excited and you'd like to see what other modules are available. Before I show you that, I want to show you what other chassis pipes are available. You can get up to 5 versions of chassis pipe, Mark II, 3, 4, and 5. And basically, the Mark II pipe allows you to have 2 modules in it. The Mark III has 3, the Mark IV has 4, and finally the Mark V chassis pipe has 8 module slots. That's the most. Whoa, craziness. Most people go with 3 or 4. You're not really going to need much more than that too often, but it's definitely an option to have. So let's go ahead and plug in the Mark III. We'll see there's 3 module slots there. Cool. What can we do with these? All kinds of awesome things by inserting different modules and mixing and matching. Let's take a look at some of them now. One of the modules is called the Passive Supplier module. It works very much like the Item Sync module, and where you can tell it what items go in there. However, what you can do is specify exactly how many items go in there, and it'll passively take care of that. Now, it's not going to actively, like the Supplier pipe, pull items out of other inventories to get them. However, if an item is traveling through the system and it doesn't have enough inside this chest, it'll go ahead and do what it can to make that happen. So let's put a stack of cobblestone in the input chest over here. What's going to happen? Well, let's see. 16 cobblestone landed in here because the passive supplier said, hey, try and keep about 16 cobblestone in whenever you get some cool. Okay. Now, if I take the 16 out, it's not going to pull it out of anywhere else. No other pipe or anything is going to feed into here and say, all right, you're out of cobblestone, I'm going to refill you. That's what the supplier pipe is for. But if more cobblestone happens to show up into the system, let's go ahead and do that now. Boom, it'll go ahead and put the 16 in there first, and then all the other cobblestone is going to go to another logistics pipe, preferably one that's either a default route or the cobblestone requesting itself. Nice. And do note that while wearing your HUD glasses, you can see which modules are in which chassis pipes. Cool, we can see there's a green one in there and nothing else. There's 2 empty ones. Slick. Now the next module is personally one of my favorite, the polymorphic item sync module. Now what this does is you can see there's no little exclamation point, so there's no configuration of this. What it does is it says anything that's already in the chest is the type of item I'm going to sort into this chest, okay? So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to change this to an item sync, and we're going to make this the default route, okay? So we can take this cobblestone out of here, and we'll see now the item sync here. So this is the default route. The polymorphic item sync will say any cobblestone, dirt, and logistics chassis pipe Mark V will land in this chest. Okay, cool. So let's put some cobblestone in. All right, it landed in here. Good. Dirt should do the same, as should the logistics chassis pipe Mark V, right? Yes, it did. The logistics chassis pipe Mark IV, nope, that landed down here. Awesome. So you can see that basically anything that's already in the chest is going to land in here. So let's put a couple iron chests in here. Note that they went down here. If we place an iron chest in here now, though, and we put these guys in, they should have all zipped right into here because it's saying, hey, I'm going to go ahead and take anything that's already in this chest and populate it. And remember when we were over here playing with this nifty gadget, the provider pipe? And there was that leave 1 item per stack. This is perfect if you want to have a provider pipe set up on a chest that's set up to polymorphic item sync. This way it won't give out the last item, so that 1 item will always stay inside the chest and will always be available for the polymorphic item sync. Sweet. Now I've placed my polymorphic item sync module back in here because I want to show you the next item, the next module. What do we got here? So remember, we have a default route set up here, so anything that enters the system will default find its way here. And the polymorphic item sync will say, hey, make sure to send cobble, dirt, and logistics chassis pipes Mark V my way. I've put in, instead of an Extractor Mark III module, the Quicksort module. Now these are very similar in that the Quicksort module will also quickly pull items out of a chest and sort them. However, the main difference is the Quicksort module will not pull out items if there's no route for them to go to, and the default route doesn't count. Okay, so let's go ahead and put, for example, cobblestone in here. Okay, note that it got pulled out and it landed in this chest as we expected. Cool. And the same thing should happen for logistics chassis pipes Mark V. Ta-da! Now if I place something like iron chests in here, what's going to happen? Nothing. Nothing's happening. It doesn't have anywhere to put iron chests, and the Quicksort module will not pull items out of a chest if there's nowhere for them to go specifically. Default route doesn't count. Okay? Now if you had an Extractor module in here instead of a Quicksort module, well then sure, no problem. It'll send the chests out and send them right down here because that's the way the default route is set up. Okay. Now if we had a polymorphic item sync and then there was a chest in there, so let's put the Quicksort back. We put the iron chests in. There's nowhere for them to go, so they're not getting pulled out. They're stuck in the chest until we give them somewhere to go, like there. And at this point now it'll say, hey, I have somewhere to put those iron chests, so I'll put them right in there. That is the Quicksort module. Next up, we've got a pretty nifty little gadget right here called the Terminus module. What I'm going to do is say terminate items in this chest. This is pretty good use for recyclers because basically what it means is this is the lowest priority pipe. Any cobblestone that enters the system will try and go somewhere else first, okay? And it'll go to that pipe last. So let's take a look. We've got this chest over here with a polymorphic item sync set up to receive cobblestone. So if I place any cobblestone in here, it should make its way straight into here. And there it goes. Okay, so we'll see the cobblestone made it in there. Perfect. However, if there's no more room in this chest, like so, now there's no more room really for the cobblestone to make its way in there. So let's go ahead and put another stack in here, and it's going to make its way in, and it's going to fill up this last stack. So, you know, 16 more of these should be a good filling. There we go. Now we're totally full. Where's this going to go? Well, let's see. Ta-da! The cobblestone landed down here, even though we still have this item sync module set up as a default route, because that's the lowest of low priorities is the default route. So this Terminus module said, hey, this cobblestone, you go down here. This would be a good setup, like I said, for recyclers if you would like to go ahead and say, like, hey, you know, fill up my chests with cobblestone and dirt first, and then once they're totally full, go ahead and start sending just cobblestone or just dirt or any number of items that I don't care about into this inventory. And you can set up to recycle it or burn it or do whatever you want to get rid of it. It's a good way to do it. But then if you do start having room again, so maybe you've used some of your cobblestone, well, not to worry. You can go ahead and do that. And note that it dumped the first 32 into here, filled up the chest, and then the next 16 landed down here. Beautiful. Now we've seen the Extractor module, so why don't we take a look at the Advanced Extractor module. And just like the Extractor module, there is an Advanced Extractor Mark II and III, so I'll go ahead and just show you the 3, and we can see how fast it is. You can change the sneaky orientation, just like I was showing you before, but now you can also specify which items to extract. So I'll just extract cobblestone and dirt. That sounds good, right? You can set it on included or excluded mode. And now, when we open up this pipe chest here, we'll see the dirt gets extracted, the cobblestone gets extracted, but nothing else does. Cool. Looking good. Of course, if we set it to exclude mode, it will exclude everything but cobblestone and dirt. So everything else is getting drained and sorted appropriately. Cobblestone and dirt are staying. Pretty awesome. Next up, we've got the B-Analyzer and B-Sync module. Guess what they do? They work exactly like the B-Analyzer and B-Sync pipes, so I'm not going to show them to you. But what I will show you while I'm here is this nifty gadget, all right? If we take a look at, I don't know, the Terminus module, which I showed you a minute ago, I showed you how you can go into the interface here, place it in, and hit the exclamation point to set up your configuration. You don't have to do that. You can set them up ahead of time by right-clicking the Terminus module in your hand. And if you have several Terminus modules in your hand, you can configure them all at once. Pretty cool. So now we can see here, both of these have the same configuration. Awesome. The next module, mod-based item sync. This is pretty cool. Check this out. You can actually item sync based on which mod the item comes from. So simply place any item in the game in a slot, and you'll see iron chest. Click add. Okay. Now, if we, put something else in here, like I don't know, this one, Materials and You by Skyla. That's from Tinker's Construct. Place that in there. Now what's going to happen is all iron chest items and Tinker's Construct items should sort into this chest, and everything else should come down here into the item sync module with the default route. Let's give it a try, shall we? So let's go ahead and check out the mod for iron chests. And I'll get myself a couple items here from the iron chests mod, okay? Cool. It sorted them all. Well, in fact, we should have probably handled this a little better. Let's try that again. There we go. You see the upgrades and the chests. They went all where they expected to go because they're all from iron chests. Cool. And, if we put a logistics chassis pipe in here, it should make its way down to the default route. And if we went ahead and got, this Manilium Broadsword, which is part of Tinker's Construct, that should sort into this chest as well. So you can sort based on which mod the item is from. Dude. That's awesome. Speaking of mod integration, how about the Thumbcraft Aspect item sync module? Oh boy, this is pretty cool. You can either do this in the interface or, like I said, from your hand. And you can say, hey, I'd really like to get some of this dirt aspect in here, so let's inject that. And you know what else I'd really like to have the aspect of? Yeah, this guy, the explosion and the stone. All right, that sounds good. I'm going to put this pipe configuration in here now. And we'll see that any items that have any one of these three aspects on them will get sorted into this chest. Okay, so let's take all our stuff out again. And dirt should head down here, obviously. But of course we need to, disable this. There we go. Now to pull all items out. And we'll see the dirt and the stone landed in here because that's how it was configured. As a matter of fact, I happen to know that smooth stone also has that same rock symbol. So even though I didn't say to sort smooth stone in here, I'm sorting anything with the rock symbol from Thumbcraft, okay? So smooth stone should sort its way into this chest, okay? And there we go. It landed right in there perfectly. Ta-da! And then finally, I know that gunpowder, I think, has that explosion symbol, so that should also sort appropriately into this chest. Nice. But of course, anything without those symbols, like that one, got sorted down here. So you can sort based on Thumbcraft aspects. That's pretty cool. Next up, we've got the provider module. So the provider module basically works just like a provider pipe. So again, I'm not going to go over it again, but basically the same exact functionality as the provider pipe, which was right over here. That's the same exact thing that the provider module does. And there's a Mark 1 and a Mark 2 so that you can go ahead and easily, sort things and pull things out faster on demand. So the provider module is an on-demand, or it'll provide items when they're requested by a requester pipe. So that makes it pretty neat. Next up is an integration with Industrial Craft, and you can set up the electric manager and the electric buffer module, and basically allows you to manage different electrical charges on different items. So for example, I'm placing the electric wrench, diamond drill, and lapotron crystal inside the electric manager module. Down here, I've got the electric buffer module, and what this does is it basically says anything that can store charge, this is where you're supposed to go. This is your home. And anything that is empty of charge, go ahead and put in here, charge it up, and then pull it out. So let's go ahead and place our electric wrench in. Note that it zips right into the MFSU and gets charged up. And as soon as it's done getting charged up, it's going to automatically be pulled out and sent down to the electric buffer, which was down here. Pretty cool. You can do the same with the lapotron. Ta-da! And if we take a look at this, we'll notice also that you can set this from charge to discharge items. And if you set it to discharge, it'll go ahead and drain the lapotron crystals. So you can use this to automatically set up like a way to transfer power from one system to another using logistics pipes. And that, for the most part, guys, are all your different modules. Now, we can take a look at upgrades. For that, we're going to need the upgrade manager. This guy's not too hard to make. Network monitor plus wrench. Cool. Shouldn't be too hard. What this allows you to do is pretty awesome, and you guys are really going to like it. Basically, you can take some upgrades like sneaky pipe upgrade functionality or disconnection upgrades, item speed, advanced satellite liquid crafting, and crafting byproduct extraction upgrades. So let's take a look first at sneaky pipe functionality. So let's say we wanted to insert an item into the top of an inventory, but we only had the availability to put it on the side. Okay, that's what sneaky pipes allows you to do. So here we're trying to put an item on the top, top, okay? But if we tried to put it in the side, for example, it just wouldn't work so well. Let's try it out, shall we? Here goes nothing. All right, so I've demonstrated this with a furnace instead of with the MFSU, because the MFSU is being too smart for me and it's putting things in the right slot. But a furnace is a perfect example. So what I need to do here is place a piece of cobblestone in here. Now I've set it up so that this thing has an item sink, and it's going to request cobblestone. So cobblestone should go into the furnace, right? Let's see what happens. I'm going to place it in here, and oh, that's weird. It went into the default route. Why would you do that, cobblestone? Well, let me show you why. Because it's trying to go into the side of the furnace instead of the top. So let's go ahead and adjust this with the upgrade manager, and I'm going to put the sneaky up upgrade in there. So that's the sneaky upgrade, and I'll say anything that comes into this pipe is going to go into the adjacent inventory from the top instead of from the side like it's already configured to do. So now if we put some cobblestone in this pipe, ta-da, it made its way into the top. Pretty cool, right? Now, if we wanted this to go into the bottom, all we'd need is a sneaky upgrade for the bottom. So we can find the down upgrade, we'll replace it, and we'll get some coal. Okay, so let's try this out. If we, placed coal in here in the item sink instead of cobble, and then we put coal in here, it should sneaky its way into the down position. Neat. So that's what the sneaky upgrades do. And you can also, as you can see, go ahead and put them in different sides. So we've got up, down, north, south, east, and west. And then there's the sneaky combination upgrade. Oh boy, that sounds complex. Sneaky combination upgrade. So that gives you just a second row of sneaky upgrades. Neat. Now you remember from last episode when I set up this nifty system here, you know what bugs me? You know what really makes me frustrated is seeing this little connection pipe here. I hate that. It's annoying. It's like there's nothing coming in there. There's nothing going in the side of that thing. I don't want to see that connection pipe. That's why we've got the disconnect upgrade, okay? So we know that this direction is east. So why don't I get a disconnection upgrade to the east, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this pipe with a disconnection upgrade east. Ta-da! It prevents the pipe from connecting on the east side, okay? Now, if we wanted to, we could also put in here a disconnection upgrade up, and that'll probably prevent it from connecting on the top. Uh-oh, it lost connection to the network. That's obviously not what I wanted, so let's remove that disconnection upgrade up, and now everything's connected again. That is really cool. So you can make these things not connect to each other if you want. So here's a nifty upgrade. We want to put the logistics liquid satellite pipe on this carpenter that needs seed oil in order to craft. And then we're going to go ahead and put a pipe here to connect everything. And then we're going to set up with the upgrade manager the liquid crafting upgrade, so that when we go ahead and check the crafting recipe in the inputs here, we'll see it's still 2 oak wood yields 2 impregnated sticks, but now we can manually and automatically request seed oil, and we can do that right here. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. I'm going to go ahead and get myself a bucket of seed oil and give this a try. All we need to do is configure the satellite ID. So we're going to make the satellite ID 1. It's just like the satellite pipe, but it's for liquids. And down here, now I can choose satellite 1. And I can put the seed oil bucket in here, and I can tell it exactly how much seed oil I need. I happen to know for impregnated sticks, I need 0.1 buckets, or 100 millibuckets. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Finally, I've got a seed oil tank over here with a provider pipe on it. Let's go ahead and request, I don't know, we'll do 4 or 5 or 6 of these. Ta-da! Notice the seed oil going over there. Oh, that's cool. And it went ahead and gave me the seed oil that I needed. And it's going to go ahead and do everything it needs to get this thing crafted. Awesome. And finally, there's the crafting byproduct extraction upgrade. Oh boy, that sounds confusing. That's just for like if you are crafting something and there's a byproduct. So like say you were crafting something with a bucket of water. You're going to have a bucket left over. So you can specify the extra item as a bucket in the side here, and then you can tell it how to route and deal with that. It'll automatically extract the bucket and stuff like that. So if you had a bucket in a recipe here, don't worry about it. The empty bucket will get caught out and it'll be sent home or somewhere else. And with that, guys, I think we're ready to wrap up part 2 of our logistics pipe spotlight. There is even more to cover. Believe it or not, we're going to have a part 3. That's right. What I'm going to show you guys in the next episode is pretty awesome. There's some pretty good interaction between different mods, specifically Applied Energistics. So if you're a big fan of the Applied Energistics mod like I am, these 2 mods have worked really well together. In fact, the mod authors collaborate and make sure that their mods can do things interactively. So you can like request items out of logistics systems and Applied Energistics systems and all kinds of cool stuff. It's pretty interactive. You can also interact with computer craft, So if you're a big fan of computer craft and you want to be able to write programs to interact with some of these pipes, that's also possible. There's also a few items I haven't shown you just yet, like the security station and some of the other item cards and stuff like that. So there's a few other logistics pipes items I need to show you, the security station and some other mod integration that I haven't gotten to yet. So that'll all be covered in part 3. For now, this is Direwolf20 signing off on part 2 of the logistics pipes mod spotlight. Hope you've enjoyed it. There's some pretty awesome modules here that can make for a really complex and in-depth item sorting system, all using Buildcraft pipes. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and as always, take it easy.